Ladies and gentlemen, recording live from the Bees, Little Group of Barracks Lawyers proudly presents the Toxic Leader Showcase. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our hosts. Please give a loud, thunderous applause for Chief Judge Dragon.
Thank you. Far too kind. Thank you. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get to it. On the Toxic Leader Showcase, we present some of the most toxic leaders based off our supporters' submissions. Rest assured, each submission is carefully vetted to ensure that each candidate displays the following destructive leadership styles as referenced in AR 600-100, which include, but are not limited to, incompetent managers, affable non-participants, insensitive driven achievers, toxic self-centered abusers, and criminals. Also, before we continue, we would like to note that the Army and its infinite wisdom decided to exchange the term toxic with counterproductive in July 2019. We're not entirely sure why the Army decided to make this change, but we're also not surprised.
Oops! This suit is black nut.
Anyways, back to the show. Every episode, we'll start with the question of the day in which one person will have the opportunity to win a special prize if they answer correctly. Just so everyone is tracking for today's show, we pre-selected a caller due to the Rona, and I'm receiving the sign, that they are ready to go. His name is Joe Snuffy. Joe Snuffy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, and it's, Joe Snuffy.
My sincerest apologies. Do you mind if I call you Joe?
No, sir, that's fine. My friends call me Joe.
Perfect. Thank you, Joe. Alright, I'm going to briefly describe to you this episode Showcase Toxic Leader. All you have to do is select one of the 5 destructive leadership styles mentioned at the beginning of the show that best describes this toxic leader. Are you ready?
I think so.
Perfect. This episode Showcase Toxic Leader is an infantry sergeant first class that has a perceptibly impressive military background, as he has obtained accolades such as Pathfinder, Air Assault, Jump Master, and is a member of the Sergeant Audie Murphy Club. However, he was flagged on 14 November 2019 for involuntary separation field initiated. His command assigned him to the position of Rear Detachment NCOIC when they deployed on New Year's 2020, or what he would state, Rear Detachment Battalion Command Sergeant Major.
He was a retard.
Was determined to be involuntarily separated around May 2020, and is now currently stationed in San Antonio.
Wow, he sounds like a shitbag. Toxic leader.
Right you are, Joe.
Okay. I think, he sounds like number 4. Toxic, self-centered abuser.
That is correct! Congratulations! Please ensure to email me after the show so I can send you your prize.
Which is?
A beautiful certificate of achievement!
Great.
Times are rough, Joe, but thanks for calling in, Mr. Ungrateful.
Ungrateful sons of bitches.
Anyways, now back to our Showcase Toxic Leader. Little Group of Barracks Lawyers has obtained extensive amount of supporting correspondence, witness testimonies, etc., confirming that Sergeant Sabbath is a prime example of a toxic, self-centered abuser, because he is humble, civil, controlled, trusting, and good-tempered.
I'll believe that when my ship turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet.
Furthermore, Sergeant Sabbath has a prohibited relationship between soldiers of different grades. This is a clear violation of AR 600-20, 4-14 Bravo. However, this isn't necessarily surprising given that he has spent his whole military career at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, up until his recent PCS to San Antonio. Unsurprisingly, Sergeant Sabbath has a checkered past with an alleged domestic violence charge, accidentally eating an edible, dismissal from SWIC due to spice, and
the snozberries taste like snozberries.
what one of our supporters described as a subject matter expert on weapon squad gun drills. But what does that exactly mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're in luck. This supporter was gracious enough to provide a small narrative. 'Twas a warm time of the year when a weapons squad leader instructed 5 senior members of the E4 Mafia to practice gun drills. the E4 Mafia practiced their tactics and techniques with barrel changes, malfunction drills, and bipod to tripod execution. This eventually led to timing the proficiency of their skills. That is when a Staff Sergeant Sabbath came down to supervise his senior members of the E4 Mafia and witnessed some deficiencies. He then proceeded to show his subject matter expert proficiency as the weapon squad leader by showing a quicker way to position one's hand and body for a quicker barrel change. Staff Sergeant Sabbath failed to properly depress the barrel locking latch referenced as Step 2 and proceeded to Step 3 by grasping the charging handle, rotating it to its upright position, pushing forward, and ultimately was unable to remove the barrel. Staff Sergeant Sabbath continued to struggle to remove the barrel and was unable to do so until one of the senior members of the E4 Mafia informed him of his error.
Do you feel in charge?
Upon being corrected, Staff Sergeant Sabbath continued to practice barrel changes in order to showcase his subject matter expert proficiency on gun drills. Way to go, 82nd Airborne Division. The Army certainly needs more toxic, self-centered abusers like Sergeant Sabbath. Before we end this episode, we would also like to remind the Army of two facts. AR 600-100 1-11 Echo clearly states these types of leaders must be developed to change their destructive leadership style if possible, or, if not able to change, be removed from the Army profession. Additionally, the Army will be tentatively paying this toxic leader's base salary and BAH totaling to the amount of $76,380 for 2021. America's Guard of Honor, military discipline, and soldier conduct. If you say, all the way. Well, that does it for our first episode. Sergeant Sabbath, you are truly a piece of shit toxic leader, and congratulations for making our toxic leader OML. Oh yeah, one more thing, Sergeant Sabbath. From all of us at Little Group of Barracks Lawyers,
Go fuck yourself.
well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember that there are others just like Sergeant Sabbath, if not worse. And we will continue to utilize unorthodox tactics in order to give those like him the spotlight they so desperately deserve.
All characters and events depicted in the show, even those based on real people, are entirely fictitious. Any similarity to actual events or persons is purely coincidental.
Oh no!
Oops. Thank you, and we will see you again on the next episode of The Toxic Leader Showcase.
Little Group of Barracks Lawyers.